And even 3 of the Democrat judges ruled against it, so it was a 4-3 decision of entirely Democrat judges.
Exactly. It's a joke, though it's a shot across the bow, because Democrats have been pushing these sorts of cases in plenty of other states. And this should give pause to all Americans, including those who hate Donald Trump, because the last time we were in a similar situation was back in 1860 when President Lincoln was the Republican nominee, and he also did not appear on the ballots in the southern states. In fact, this circumstance is even more egregious, because back in 1860, it was the respective political parties who took care of the balloting. So the reason that Lincoln did not appear in the southern states largely is because the Republican Party was new and decided not to organize and print ballots in those states. Here you have Democrats wielding the power of the government to prevent a Republican candidate who does in fact want to appear, who has done everything that he ought to do, from appearing on that ballot, based on a ridiculous provision that also dates to the Civil War, this line of the 14th Amendment that was intended to prevent Confederate generals from taking over the country. It has never been applied to a presidential candidate. It's frankly absurd to suggest that it could be. But if the Democrats are eager for civil war, I suppose this would be the way to do it.
Well, it is very worrying, isn't it? The one thing that leads to popular uprising is when the democratic valve isn't operational, and that trying to gum up the democratic valve seems fundamentally dangerous.
Of course, but when the liberals in America use the term democracy, when they say that we need to protect our sacred democracy, when they say that Donald Trump threatens our sacred democracy, they don't really mean democracy. What they're referring to is liberalism, and liberalism and democracy are rather different things. When those two, one procedural norm and one ideology, when they come into conflict, the Democrats will always choose liberalism. This is why we hear that the Brexit in your country was an assault on democracy. Well, how is it an assault on democracy when most people vote for something? This is why we hear that Viktor Orban winning and being popular in Hungary is an assault on democracy. Nayib Bukele in El Salvador, Giorgia Meloni in Italy. It's always an assault on democracy when the people don't vote for what the liberals want.